Joining us now is Democratic Senator Gary Peters of Michigan. He's the top Democrat on Homeland Security and a member of the House Senate Armed Services Committee. First of all, thank you for being with us. We're here in your home city, we should say, Detroit.
Absolutely.
We're here for the Democratic debates. I do want to ask you about the breaking news overnight. When you see that picture of a 6-year-old Stephen Romero, one thing we know for sure is we're not doing enough.
Yeah.
We're not doing enough. It's just not being done to stop these shootings. So what now?
It isn't. And first off, your heart just is broken when you see that image of a 6-year-old child that has his whole life ahead of him to be taken away in such a tragic way. We do have to do more. In fact, just last week in the Senate Homeland Security Committee, we had a hearing on school shootings, which we see all too often. How do we deal with it in a comprehensive way? There's no one simple solution, but how do we make things more secure, both physically more secure, but also how do we identify folks who may eventually commit such a atrocious crime? We also have to be able to protect our places of worship, and I'm working on legislation to increase grants to places of worship. The one place where you think you're always safe is when you are in a place of worship, and unfortunately you're not.
Yeah.
But there are no simple solutions, no easy ones, but we have to be focused on this, and we have to do it in a broad, comprehensive way.
A high school, a church, a synagogue, a garlic festival. There's no one place at this point that you can point to and say we are completely safe. Obviously, we're here for the Democratic debate. I imagine that this will be a subject they discuss there. You, Senator, represent what has become a swing state, a key swing state, and you've written about how to win in Michigan. What are the one or two things that you think the candidates who will be behind us should focus on?
Well, you're right. I don't believe you can be president of the United States unless you win Michigan. That's pretty clear from just the electoral politics right now. It's critical. I wrote a letter, as you mentioned, to each of the candidates, and I hope they talk about some of the issues that I hear every day here in Michigan. One of those is to make sure that our workers have the type of training that they need to get the jobs of the future, and that's not a 4-year college degree. It's career technical education. We don't do a good enough job preparing folks. We have jobs here around Michigan that are available, but people don't have the right skills. We've got to make sure they have those skills. We've got to make sure prescription drugs are priced in an affordable way. You know, we're right here on the border with Canada. You can drive across the river to Canada and get insulin at a fraction of the cost.
Bernie Sanders did it.
And he did that as well. I mean, we live it every day here in Michigan, that disparity, which doesn't make sense. And then there are some issues that we think about as Michigan issues, but are really national issues, and that's the Great Lakes. And it's about protecting this incredible resource that we have here.
You talked about very concrete things, very concrete issues and proposals. So where do the president's comments over the weekend fit into that? If the president is saying racist things, how should the candidates address that?
Well, you have to call it out. There's no question about it. That's simply unacceptable. And I think who wins in 2020 is going to be someone who's about having concrete solutions to the everyday problems that people face, but bringing the country together in a united way. We've got a president that appeals to people's fear and tries to divide folks. This is, you've heard it said before, this is about the heart and soul of this country is what's going to be on the ballot in 2020, and we've got to make sure that that's called out, and we offer, though, a very positive vision of what this country is and should be going forward.
Here in Michigan, there